Alright, first thing, what's our HA? Is it 1 or y equals 1? Got to put y equals 1, okay? Now I'm going to factor this. Y equals, so the x plus 3, x minus 3, over x minus 3, x plus 2. Okay, I can remove this, so that's my what? So my whole, would it be 3 or x equals 3? My VA would be negative 2. Okay, I want you to graph it right now and see if it crosses the HA. Does it cross it? No. Okay. Alright, now we're going to make a table. What number always goes in there? And then pick a number to the left and right of what number? So I'm going to have negative 3 and what? Okay. So negative 3 is 0. Negative 1 is 2. And then 0 is 1.5. If you're very careful, can you just use your table to find your values? Yes, you can. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to graph this. Y equals 1. The VA is x equals negative 2. So I got 0, 1.5. Negative 3, 0. And negative 1, 2. Where's my hole at? X equals what? Go up 3, I'm going to just put a hole there. Please don't forget the hole. I'm going to remind y'all that tomorrow. And there's your graph. Alright, number 2. Where's your degree higher at? Numerator or denominator? Numerator. So numerator what? Okay, I'm going to factor this. Ooh, these cancel out. So is there a VA? No. If there's a VA, if there's not a VA, do you need to make a table? No. So your whole is at x equals 2. So what do you end up just graphing here, guys? Straight line, x plus 5. So you would just graph y equals x plus 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Oh, my whole is at x equals 2, so I'm going to make this a whole. And that's my graph. Are there any questions? Alright, the next part, equations tomorrow. What would be your common denominator between 4x and 2x? 4x. So I'm going to multiply everything by 4x. 4 times 3 is 12x minus 1. That 2x goes in 4x twice. X equals 1/4. We would simplify. Here I would do what first? Factor. I factor that as b plus 2 and b minus what? And you multiply everything by. I'm not going to go through that. We're good. Are we good on those? Okay, let's go over homework. Now, I do want to go back, because somebody pointed something out in second period. Somebody pointed something out in second period. So turn back to your notes. And we're going to look at 5 and 6 again for a minute. Page 39. Number 6. What does it say here? Greater than or what? Equal to 0. So is that all of my answer right there? We forgot something, didn't we? What did we forget? Isn't it equal at 0 at 0? So you should have bracket 0 union 4 because it is equal at 0, okay? That's a tricky one. Now you see, Miss Chester, so would this change over here? No, because that says greater than 0. Is it greater than at those 2 points? No, so that is why that's your answer. But here, we forgot the value 0 from yesterday. That's all I want to make sure we went over. So you just have to look at your final answer and make sure that it's complete. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, now let's go for homework. Number 9. Number 9, we did put the bracket for that -5, so that's fine. Does that make sense? That one's different. All right. Number 7. We love it when it's factored form. So, what's your zeros here? X equals 4 and x equals what? Okay, so now I'm going to come up here. -4 would be here. -5 has to be here. Alright, the leading coefficient will be positive or negative. So the end's going to be sticking straight what? Where is it less than 0? Negative infinity to -4. What would you put around -4? Parentheses or bracket? Because it doesn't want the or equal to, so you put parentheses, union what? -5 halves to infinity. Okay, I want you to do number 8 right now. On your own. Let's do number 8. We're going to do these together. I'll do one, you do one. We'll take care of your homework while we go. Can number 8 be factored? No. So we will end up doing the quadratic formula. So watch this. So let's just talk about this. So this would be -b plus or minus 36 minus 4 times 1 times 10. I knew when you gave that look, Tyler, something was wrong. All right. Right there, under that root, is going to be a negative number, isn't it? Okay, so that means we're having imaginary. So is it going to cross the x-axis? No. So you're going to have something, leading coefficient positive, you're going to have something like that, aren't you? All right, it says greater than 0. Well, the whole thing's greater than 0, isn't it? So it'll be from negative infinity to positive infinity, all real numbers. So you really didn't have to find the roots. You could just stop when you saw that was going to be negative and just draw your little diagram. All right, number 9. That ends up being x plus 2 times x plus 2, which is x plus 2 squared. So I'd end up having one number, the -2, because x would equal -2. Okay, leading coefficient is positive. No, buddy, because when you factor that, it's got to multiply to give you 4, add to give you 4, so that's x plus 2 and x plus 2. Alright, So when I solve that, that gives me x equals negative 2. The leading coefficient is positive. Multiplicity of 2, that means I bumped the graph. Alright. Now, it says less than or equal to 0. Can I be less than 0 in this problem? No, but I can be or equal to, can I? Now, if it had just said less than, what would be your answer? No solution. But since it says or equal to, your only answer is what? Bracket negative 2. Okay, I want you to do number 10 on your own. Now, first thing I would do is factor out a negative what? 1, like this. Then I would factor that down like that. So your leading coefficient here would be positive or negative? Negative. Remember, we have our ACT Saturday session this Saturday from 8 to 12. I'm just going to go through here. I know people signed up. Just tell me if you're still coming, okay? I'm not getting mad if you say I can't make it now. Put still coming Saturday. Right? Zach? Yeah. Okay. Luke? You still coming Saturday for ACT Saturday session? Okay. Thank you. Abigail, you still go? Okay. Dylan? Yeah. Mason? You don't know him? Brinley? Jade? Emma? Phone? Kylie? Yes, sir. Anybody else that needs to be added to the list? Okay? Alright, so what's my two zeros here? 8 and negative 2. So I'm going to come over here. Negative 2 and 8. My leading coefficient is what? Negative is quadratic, so my end's going to be sticking straight what? Down. I don't have to worry about a multiplicity. We want it greater than 0. Where's it greater than 0? Between what two numbers? And what will go around negative 2 and 8? Because we don't want the or equal to on this, so you don't put bracket. Alright, number 11. What type of function is this? Quadratic. My leading coefficient here would be what? Negative. Very good. I'm going to factor that. 2 plus x. 2 minus x. So I'm going to have negative 2 and 2. We want less than 0. So it would be from where? 2. Union. Very good. Alright. Number 12. Alright, I'm going to finish factoring this because that's difference of squares. What type of function is this going to be? Cubic. Okay, very good. So my zeros are negative 5, 1, and negative 1. My leading coefficient here is what? Positive. Do I have any multiplicity to worry about? No. Notice greater than 0. Where's it greater than 0 at? Do I need to put parentheses or bracket? Union 1 to infinity. Negative 5 to negative 1, union 1 to infinity. What numbers did we do for homework? Alright, okay. We just did that one for fun. Okay. Alright. Number 13. Yes. You have a question?
No, I'm
okay.
Doing something.
Okay. Number 13. 1 to infinity. Number 13. What am I going to take out first? A negative x so that leaves a positive, sorry. So x squared plus 6x plus 5. Now I'm going to factor that down to positive 5 and positive 1. So my zeros will be 0, negative 5, negative 1. Now my leading coefficient is negative. So I'll be increasing from left to right or decreasing? Do I have any multiplicity to worry about? I want it less than 0. Where is it less than 0 at? From negative 5 to union 0 to infinity. These are not too bad, are they? Y'all like these? You talking about what? No, we're not changing. Are there any questions so far? All right. Number 15. Did we skip 15? We're going to do 15 because I just want to show you. Okay. This would be x squared plus 5, x squared plus 3. If, since this is that format, easy format, what would they give me? An imaginary number, wouldn't it? That would be for both of these, wouldn't it? Okay, so that means it does not cross the what? Since my x to the 4, my leading coefficient positive, it would be something like this, wouldn't it? Okay, it says greater than 0. Is the graph greater than 0? So it would be all what? Yes. If it said less than 0, it would be no solution. Because it does not go below that line. Greater than or equal to 0, it would still be all real numbers because the whole thing's greater than. Yes. Why is 12 facing down? Okay, x squared times x is x cubed, so that's a cubic. So one end will be sticking straight up and one down. Yeah. Alright, on number 16 and 17, remember, these are what type? Are these polynomial or rational? Rational, okay. So you have to plug numbers in here. We got to get two numbers. The first number you set the denominator equal to what? 0. So what would that be? Negative 4. And what's the other number? You set the numerator equal to 0. What's the other number? 3. Now before we go 4, let's go and determine open or closed dot. If I plug negative 4 in, that would be what in the denominator? Can I have that? No, that's an open dot. If I plug 3 in, 3 minus 3 is 0 divided by anything is 0. Will that be greater than 0? No, so what I put there? Open, okay? Now, I'm going to pick a number to the left of negative 4, which is negative 5. Remember, we're only worried about the sign. We're not worried about the actual value. So if I take negative 5 minus 3 would be a negative number. Negative 5 plus 4 would be a negative. What's a negative divided by negative? So I'm going to put a positive there. I plug 0 in. That gives me negative 3 over 4, which would be a negative value. I plug in 10. That gives me a positive value. I want greater than 0. So would I pick the positive or negative value? So it would be from what? Negative infinity to union 3 to what? Infinity. All right, number 17. I get my first number by setting the denominator equal to what? So that's 5. My numerator would be negative 6. Pick something left in negative 6. I'm going to pick negative 10. That gives me a negative. Divided by negative is a positive. I pick 0. That would give me a negative. I pick 10. That would give me a positive. Okay, if I plug negative 6 in, that would give me what? 0 in the numerator. What's 0 divided by anything? Would I put an open or closed dot here? Because it says less than. That's not less than. Alright, I plug 5 in, I get a 0 in the denominator, so I'm going to put an open dot there. I want less than 0, so I would choose the negative value. So it would be from where? Very good. Are y'all? How many does that leave you for homework? That's nice. All right, I do want to ask you a question here. You got a picture like this tomorrow on your test. What's your domain of that graph? If I ask you the domain, start from left, from negative infinity to where? Where do I have a problem at? At 1. So it'd be negative infinity to 1. What goes around 1? Parentheses, union 1 to what? We good with that? I'm going to give you this checkpoint. You don't finish it, it's for homework. So you got that one problem and these two, okay? Oh, you have 2 problems for homework? Okay. And then if you don't finish it, just can you turn this in tomorrow. You might be finished with now. Y'all understand what your test is on tomorrow?